Hello, this is David, and today we're going to be talking about variables within software development. So let's get started. A variable is simply something that you were probably first introduced to within the math course. A very simple representation of this would be x is equal to 5. Here the value or the figure x is the variable, y is the equator, so what is equaling or creating the variable, and 5 is the value. So once again, x is the variable, equals is what sets a value to the variable, and 5 is the value of the variable. So now, to show a little bit of what this would look like within software development, we have px, so puts x. We can run this here on repl, which is a virtual Ruby and terminal representation. So we see that the value is 5, but that's the value of x. This isn't actually getting printed to a screen. repl just likes you to know what the value of things are, and it's actually printing out 5 when I put puts x. So let's talk about the value of variables within software development. Essentially, you can have the number 5 or a variable dozens, if not hundreds of times presented within an application. The problem with that is when you want to change that value, you have two choices. You can either go in there and manually change it in, those 100 places, which would be hard coding the application, or you can simply change the value of x. X would have a point of origin, and you only have to change that value one time. An example of this is, what if we wanted our output to be 10? All we'd have to do is set x is equal to 10, run that, and now we can see that we're printing out 10. Also, another big value to this is, what if our value for x was quite large? Then every time we'd have to change it, we would either have to go in and save this very large number, or we can just write it once by saving it to this variable. So what can a variable hold? A variable can just hold any type of data type. So within Ruby, we are talking about a hash, a string, integer, float. We also have an array. I think it can also hold a symbol, and that would be about it. So if we hash this out, we can now show some examples of this. So let's change x to a string of this, run that. Let's change x to a hash of this, that, run that. We can change x to an integer again. Syntax error, unexpected. Didn't delete everything. Change x to an integer again. Change x to a float, which is the same as an integer, just with decimal points. And then we can do an array. So let's do 1, this, comma, that. We can see that that array is being outputted. And then I'm not sure about a symbol, but I think this works as well. It might not. This. Yep, so a symbol also works, and you might be able to write it with the colon on the opposite side as well. Apparently you cannot. And then if this isn't surrounded by quotes, this shouldn't work either. Okay, so a symbol works as well. So if we dive into a little bit deeper as to why variables are important, let's say x is equal to 10, and we just want to do some calculations with 10. So we want to put 10, we want to do x minus 10, I hope you can do this. Control-Shift-D. Okay, so I cannot do this, but I'm just going to copy this and then paste it a few times. Control-V. Okay, so we want to do x minus 10, maybe x plus 10, x minus, or let's do divided by 10, multiplied by 10, and then what else do we have? I think that's probably good enough. These are the 4 basic ways to compute numbers. So we can run this, and we have the output of 10, 0, 20, 1, and 100. So that's awesome. But what if we wanted to subtract 10 or x by, 5 instead of 10? We'd have to go in here and change each one of these to 5. We can already see how this could take a lot of time if we had to do this in dozens of places or hundreds, which is completely possible within an application. But let's say y is equal to 5. Then we could replace 5 with the value of y. I hate how this is working here. And then if we run this, we'll get the same output. So now instead what we can do is say, hey, we actually want to do the calculations with x, but instead of with the number 5, we want it with the number 22, for example. We just change the value of y to 22, we run that, and all of our computations are done. So hopefully this quick tutorial gives you a quick and clear understanding of how variables work within software development and why they're important. Thank you.